Everyone, welcome to the new episode of Critical Role. This evening, we luckily have Ashley Johnson back in as her character Pike. Unfortunately, Laura Bailey will be gone for most of the game, possibly, but we miss her until she shows up. Welcome back. Unfortunately, we don't have Pike's video ready yet. I'm working on it this week.
My bad.
This week got away from me and actually got to me a little late, but we'll have it up next week, don't worry. So, a little overview for the story. The party then found what looked to be an entirely abandoned goblin city and a series of goblinoid corpses, many of which had bored holes in their skull in various states of decay. They found a long bridge across an open chasm. Upon traversing it, Scanlan went invisible and found what looked like a Duergar Warcamp, which were like ashy-skinned, evil dwarves that live deep underground. Watched a dwarf get executed by what appeared to be some sort of strange alienoid creature that was revealed to be an illithid or a mind flayer, and being that is psychic and consumes brains.
Oh, the mind flayer. Brains!
Yeah. Upon returning, the party had a plan to lead them off of an illusionary cliff that went pretty well, ended up taking out a significant portion of the charging army at the time. Vax here, however, got stunned on the way across by the one mind flayer, nearly fell, however, was saved by Tiberius at the last moment. Nearly lost their magic carpet, but was retrieved. They then, after a brief...
Wait, you still have the magic carpet, right?
Yeah, it got recovered. It got recovered.
Back. It's okay.
Barely. After a brief discussion, Keyleth and Vex decided they didn't want to listen to anyone's bullshit and hijacked the magic carpet, flew down into the chasm below, and discovered behind one of the underground waterfalls some sort of a mind flayer who was cast out from the society, covered in rags, kind of a twisted physical form, and after a very tense discussion seemed to befriend it under the guise of mutually agreed retribution against those that are oppressive to this whole chasm area. As you guys have gathered up and you finished your luxurious song to try and ease his torn form, he finishes tapping his toe in spite of himself, looks about the rest of the group and says, once again, not vocally, but speaking directly into your mind through a horrifying whispered voice that you cannot even close your ears to get rid of. I think it's best we rest out of sight. And he points across the chasm to the war camp that is looming across the way. And he begins to dart off towards the abandoned goblinoid village. As you guys make your way in toward the goblinoid village, you can see Clarota, who is genuinely hovering about a foot off the ground and kind of just coasting around, finds one tent, opens it up and looks inside. Here we can talk. Darts inside. As you're following towards the center of this town, you see in the distance a small light moving back from the direction where you first saw that Duergar camp.
Look, back the way we came, there's some sort of light up ahead.
Oh, that can't be good.
Stay with Clarota. I'm gonna go take a look. Scanlan, come on.
I'm coming with.
Both of you guys roll stealth?
Stealth? Not great. 9!
29.
All right.
That's a number.
So, as you officially vanish into the ether and surrounding darkness, Scanlan, who still has that song stuck in his head from earlier, his slow jam is just abstractedly humming to himself without realizing it, calling a little bit of attention, at which point you begin to hear some footsteps in the distance that come to an immediate halt.
Grab Scanlan, put my hand over his mouth and say, quiet, man, what's wrong with you? It's a nervous habit, I'm sorry. With great power comes great responsibility.
It's a gift I have to share with the world.
Later. With him tucked under my arm like a football, start to creep further.
You can see behind a pillar that's kind of blocking your view, it's obstructing your view of the actual camp proper, you can see some movement in the light. And you hear a voice just kind of muttering to itself. A familiar female gnomish voice.
Pike?
Hey guys! It's me, Pike!
Jeez, where have you been?
Oh man, I've had quite a time. I've missed you guys terribly and...
What you were inspecting was this campsite that appeared to have been abandoned. What caught your eye was against the stone wall. There is a giant symbol carved into the stone that is a protective sigil of Bahamut, the Platinum Dragon.
As we were looking at that, we couldn't make heads or tails of it. Have you ever seen that before.
You clutch your holy symbol instinctually as you reach up and kind of run your fingers along the stonework, kind of tracing the carving across the stone. And for a split moment, you can see a well-armored, very driven female halfling with hair pulled back into tight brown braids, a kind of dark green cloak thrown over one shoulder, who is currently carving that symbol into the stone. You're seeing Lady Kima of Vord is the one who left the symbol.
What is it?
It was left by a woman.
Lady Kima, the one we're trying to find.
Yes, Lady Kima.
How did you know that?
Me and Pike are like, oh, Jesus. Wow. It's so great to see you.
It's
You
really
look
great to see you.
fantastic, by the way.
I don't feel fantastic.
Bring it in. Bring it in. Give me a hug.
A lot has happened to us. We found sort of a war camp down here, and there is sort of I don't know, a being, I don't know what to call it. He's got a little of this going on, and he speaks and lashes out through his mind. We fought a huge force down here, and then we ended up falling down into a cavern, and then Keyleth and my sister.
And we found a rogue one, and we may team up with him or her to go back and get revenge and maybe kick some ass in the camp.
So that's where
So,
we're...
welcome back.
Great.
Come,
Sounds
let's
like
rejoin
a
our
fun
friends,
time.
shall we?
Okay.
You make your way back to the tent that was originally scouted out. The rest of the party is there waiting as Clarota is awkwardly sitting in the far end, just kind of looking out as all of you slowly approach and enter.
I turn to Clarota, I'm like, ooh, that's our friend Pike. She's a good ally. Hello, Pike.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Where have you been?
Well, I had quite a time. When we were up on the tower, I noticed something, and I felt I had to leave because I started to have a vision.
Ooh.
I feel like I should talk to you guys about this later, just because.
It's personal.
What is your name? I'm so sorry. I'm Pike. It's very nice to meet you.
You see what looks like a very tall, thin, gaunt-looking humanoid with a hood over the head. As you approach, you get a better look at the facial features. Smooth, kind of dull, bluish-purple skin, these sunken, creepy, yellowish-green eyes, and instead of where a mouth or nose would be, you see 4 kind of slightly twitching tentacles, barely obscuring what looks like a round lamprey-like toothed maw.
Can I shake his hand?
Do you want to reach your hand out?
Yes.
There is no physical response. You hear in the middle of your mind, "Are you to be one of our allies as well?"
Yes. Of course.
Very well.
Can you help us understand your kind, your history, how you've come to be here, and who this individual is that is fucking with your shit?
Clarota's eyes narrow, and you can feel just the general mood and energy at the inside of the tent grows dark. Clarota says,
7 years since I discovered my curse. My form was struck with the brand of the arcane. My brethren could sense my impurity, my deviation, and cast me out. I was severed from the elder brain and chased on threat of death should I return. In my wandering, I discovered a Duergar stronghold, and it appeared something had sieged the stronghold. Reading the surface thoughts of the deep dwarfs, this entity that took the Duergar by force, they called Kavar. I caught no sight of it. I knew to keep a distance to be safe. Not but 4 months ago, one of my estranged people was captured by these ash skins for what I assumed was interrogation. The bulk of the Duergar people marched back through the long, deep tunnels that led to my people's colony and attacked. Before much bloodshed could occur, the fighting stopped. And the colony allowed the Ashskins to waltz directly into the temple, unharmed, unchallenged, where our elder brain resides. Whomever this Kavan is, they themselves infiltrated the temple and somehow took the elder brain under their own control. I watched as my people had their will robbed of them, and they took the will of all the others that lived and breathed in these tunnels. Now, a terrible army is forged of both factions. They walk under the banner of this Kavan. I fled back to the higher tunnels and scrounged for materials so I could shield myself from the iron grip influence of the now enslaved elder brain. It took me weeks, but I'm confident I'm safe from its influence. For now.
Is that the thing that you wear upon your head?
As it pulls the hood back, you see once again this kind of haphazard metallic cluster of patches of metal and iron, this dull kind of blue metallic glow that you can only now see once he's sitting in near pitch darkness.
Yes, this I feel can protect me. I feel that if I could somehow free my people from the influence of Kavan, my people would allow me to rejoin the colony, to be one again with my family, my brethren.
I have a few questions. Is that all right?
Yes.
Without this, do you think as one?
We think as individuals, but the hive mind connects us all. The hive mind gives us knowledge, history, direction. It is the source of our family.
So, if one individual of your family sees something, the entire hive sees the same. Is that correct?
Oh dear, that's no good.
And you mentioned the arcane being a stigma upon you.
At which point it turns its gaze away and kind of slinks down into its form slightly.
What do your brethren put their faith in, if not the arcane?
Put the faith in the arts of the mind. Both understanding, manipulating, controlling, and devouring.
Clarota, we have already allied ourselves with you, but the thing you wear on your head, it would make us all the more equipped to take on this task. If someone like me to be influenced, it would be very bad for our group.
Yeah.
Even yourself, perhaps. It would do well for at least maybe show us how you built it, and
Yeah.
you get what I'm getting at, right?
I would like a steel beanie as well.
Basically, where do we get one of those?
It would take weeks to build another.
I would like to take a look at it, if possible, and see if it makes sense. I am a builder. If we were all hidden, we would have a distinct advantage.
I have a very large bronze pot in the bag of holding. Could I wear that on me noggin?
If you like.
This protects me from the influence of the hive mind, my pre-existing connection.
Would there be a way to cloak ourselves from their understanding? Protect our minds?
Hidden from the others. Sight is the mind sight.
Oh,
The elder brain is a collection of the once living mind flayers of my people.
I have one more question. I'm curious to know, hopefully our goals intertwine and we want the same thing, but once that is achieved, and it will be, do you return to your home below? Do your people harbor any ambition to move upward into Craghammer?
Our ambition is to pursue the continuation of our knowledge seeking. We have no interest in the surface. We only wish to spread our dominion here below. Expand our great city of Yugvoil.
We would require of you, at the very least, safe passage once we have helped you reunite with your people, for ourselves and for a friend of ours who's lost.
I believe this could be arranged.
Scanlan, does he speak true?
Let's find out.
Go ahead and make an insight check.
13. Okay.
He seems to be speaking from a point of desperation and intent, as he has no other option. You can see it in the way he talks and the way he speaks about his family. He's a little crazy. The isolation has put him to a point where he wants to return to his people. However, he also seems to be appreciative that you're willing to help, and seems to be, on his part, genuine.
I think we do understand your desires, and we can align ours with yours.
Yep.
So let us speak of specifics.
That assortment of dwarves and some of your friends and ogres over there on the other side of the chasm, is that something that we need to face headlong, or can we maybe surpass them, trying to find Kavarn or this temple that you speak of?
Their stronghold is far below. Their general resides in that camp. I know no way within the stronghold. Perhaps the general can be prized for information. If you bring him to me.
Bring him to you. Won't be accompanying us on any adventure, or?
I will be coming. I will be prepared. So, you must find another way in. You must think how to not be seen.
No back doors, no secret entrances that you know of into the camp anywhere near this general. Fuck.
What's in the bottom of the crevasse?
Oh yes, down below in the waters, our allies Vex and somebody found saw some creatures under the water snatching bodies as they fell. Keela.
Yes!
Yes, I forgot who went.
You see it like actually hisses for a second as soon as you mention this. It goes,
No, avoid. That creature is older than all of us. He resides there in ancient mines. One that should be kept at bay and never left.
All right, so let's review our options, shall
We're
we?
gonna charge
We
in
can.
there.
Well, we can't charge. There's a chasm. We could fly in, right?
Yes, the bridge is gone. We have
So
to
we can
do-
fly in death from above.
I think I know where we need to go.
What?
Really?
I don't know if I should be talking about this in front of him, but shall I share a vision I have?
I think so, Pike. I think at this
Okay.
point we
Well,
should just move forward.
In this vision that I had, I was pulled down toward the mines, into the tunnels below where the dwarves were working, past the goblinoid creatures, and past a great underground lake, past a jagged onyx-colored fortress framed in molten rock, past a field of broken glass and bone. Have you seen any of this?
Nothing in Onyx.
Those last things sound terrible.
No, the lake is the... Yes, that all sounds shitty. The last thing we've seen is the lake, and we didn't go too close to it because a couple of ogres fell in from above, and they disappeared
Yeah,
like
but we
something
didn't have
grabbed
him
them.
fly down there and get like a close look.
No, we haven't had a
I
look
wonder
around.
if there's like a...
Is going through the lake gonna get us through to the general?
Well,
or
we
do we
don't
need to
know.
do that first?
We haven't been down to the water surface. Maybe
Yes.
there's like another.
What's the best case scenario? What? We come up behind them? It's still going to be a fight,
But maybe there's a different vantage point instead of like.
Yes.
but we can fly over them. That seems like a pretty good attack point. to
Some of
me.
us can fly over them.
Well, we can all figure out to where all of us can fly over them. I'm more concerned about us cloaking ourselves. Even if we're flying,
an
they're still gonna
ancient
see us.
death thing down
He
there.
might die. I didn't say it was foolproof.
I don't know, man.
I mean, our
They're
options
always
are...
volunteering you.
Our options are...
what's going on?
We can vote on it, although we all know Keyleth is just going to go fucking do whatever she wants, but...
That was one time.
Just the one time.
Just one time.
Never to be forgotten.
Our options are a headlong advance into the middle of their camp, That's a big fucking force.
I think
We didn't go
so.
down to the water's surface, though, did we?
When we went over top of it and kind of looked
I say we
down.
Oh, we did. We went all the way down.
I mean, I can attempt to try and like drain the lake a little.
We're talking about
a lake.
Yeah, Lake Superior.
It is not
Yeah.
just a lake. There is a death monster in there.
Right.
Right,
Is there
but if
anything
we
to
go under the
stand
water,
on?
we're
Can
dead.
we stand on it? Anything if we want to fight it, or are we going to be fighting it in the
we
water?
can all have water breathing.
Yeah,
and
but
then
we'll be slow.
we
And
will
we'll be underwater where there's a death monster.
Yeah, I'm not worried about
But
that
there's
part.
there's 50 to 100 fucking creeps up top.
Well, then let's come up with a good plan.
Hold on,
There's
hold on.
only 26 people up there on our last count.
Clarota, you've been listening to our thoughts for the last 10 minutes.
And what clear thoughts they have been.
What do you think?
What resides in that lake is something you wish not to tamper with. It ain't your
Lord.
mind.
Holy fucking hell.
It clouds the water with its own filth. You find yourself unable to breathe air.
Have you seen it?
Is it like a many-armed situation?
One could say yes.
Okay.
So we can face Cthulhu or
Yeah.
little Cthulhu minions. Seems to be our choice.
Well,
Clarota,
why don't I have lightning, I swear? Can't you fry the water
can we
first
try
and
the
see if it
lightning?
hurts
We
it?
can fly overhead and just lightning the shit out of them.
Do that, please. Because maybe there's a way that there's a tunnel and we come up behind them or whatever.
That
Otherwise,
illithid took out my brain from like 100 feet.
You know what?
Clarota.
Wait, if I may. When I was there, I saw the general control all of them instantly
Yeah.
when he was about to make a sacrifice or feed or whatever he was doing.
Yep.
He instantly had all of their command. If we could somehow get to him and cut off that connection, distract him, influence him somehow to command them to all jump in the lake, for instance. That would get rid of the lot of them all at once.
What if we blind them with a really bright light? Like, what if they are so blind they can't actually see us coming?
I believe Pike and I both have access to spells like that.
I thought we established that they don't need visual contact to influence us. They just need to be able to be aware.
Once they
of our
have
mind.
visual contact, they can influence us, but they need to make that visual contact in the first place.
The dark, deep dwarves. They hate light.
So,
I think it'll stun them long enough for us to get across.
if we could perhaps put some light spells on the front of our shields so that we are guarded from it.
Wait, that's not a bad idea. Pike, can we temporarily enchant the magic carpet as like a spotlight as we fly over?
Clarota, while they're figuring that out, if we remain to be hidden or blind our opponents as we approach, your kin will not know our thoughts till they see us?
Yes. They need to look into you.
I happen to have a ring of mind shielding. Will that aid me in any way?
Bam!
Boom. Their its resistance to the psionic influence would be of aid.
It wouldn't be hard to get hold of some pitch down here, some tar.
To burn?
No. If you can be invisible and you have a ring of mind shielding, and you can carry a bucket of pitch to that motherfucker, you can splash it on its face, cover its eyes, and it's helpless.
Wait,
On
I
its
just have to
eyes.
blind it?
Then it can't control it.
Well, I
can't
happen to have a
survive.
blindness spell.
It may still try, but to be blind, it would be very difficult for it to pry into your mind.
Could it still control the others, though?
Probably.
Pike and I can cast daylight
Look up and do a
on
perception check.
our magic
Onto,
carpet.
onto an object.
What?
Two fronts.
Yes,
Yes.
two fronts.
What is it?
You
Someone
and
to
I
distract
separate
me?
from the group. They go in shining like a beacon, and while the illithid is focused on them, we go in, you blind him, and I stab him in his maw.
That's a
Pretty good.
suicide.
I like it. Let's do it.
Well, what else are we going
Might as well.
This is a great plan. I'm behind this.
Surgical. Special ops.
Hey, wait, what does Vax have to say about this?
Vex, you mean?
Vex.
My sister Vex?
Yes, that one.
That's a good question.
Oh, Vex, you look so tired.
Vex, your sister, seems genuinely perturbed by the circumstance. Look, I found him. You deal with the situation. Just tell me what to do.
And then she
She's so like that. Right. Right. I'm gonna sing a little song to inspire a couple of my allies here if I can.
Okay, I would recommend doing it after rest. 'Cause
Okay.
The dice would go away
After rest.
while they rest.
Okay, forget it.
I'm gonna
Now it's nice.
do a little bit of work on that first trick arrow. On the trap arrow.
Okay,
Just since I've got a little time.
go ahead and make a roll.
17.
All right, and so what are you trying to accomplish with this arrow again?
I was just trying to make a entanglement arrow. It's a trapper's arrow.
Okay.
Polo arrow.
You managed to work out what seems like a tanglefoot bag type detonation where if an arrow were fired, it would be a grapple check against the individual and probably give them penalties until they're able to break free of the grapple of the arrow. So yeah, success on that one.
Nice job, Doogie.
I'm going to be Hawkeyeing Laura out at some point. I've got a couple of them.
Clarota, you said you wanted to speak with me later. Anything in particular? Or do you wish to save it for after the battle?
Perhaps after. I just am curious about the source of your arcane power.
Oh, I'd be happy to discuss it. I could learn. I feel a great deal from you as well.
Later.
Anyway, later, of course. Yeah. I go in my books.
So Clarota closes his eyes and kind of goes into a meditative stance.
I'm sharpening my axe.
Good, good.
It is good.
Just doing my vocal warm-ups.
All right.
Me.
So as you all have your evening's rest, just the general proximity of sleeping near an illithid, you just have a general sense of unsettling dreams. Pike, you have many flashbacks to the vision you had and actually wake partway through the night in a cold sweat. As you wake up, you all kind of slowly come to. It's about 4 hours into the evening's rest. You feel a slight tremor, a familiar tremor that you felt once before in this cavern.
Clarota, do you know what that rumbling is?
There are many creatures that live in this rock. Your best to be still.
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 Everyone make a stealth check.
14.
19.
18.
20.
1.
2 natural ones. Those both count as 2 failures.
Fuck.
Thankfully, the rest of your group all rolled pretty high, so it was 4 versus 5.
Yes.
You guys just barely succeed. As you all hold still, barely breathe, the rumbling intensifies and goes on for a good minute and a half before eventually it subsides.
Aw. Thought we were gonna get a warmer.
Rumbling is complete. Appears to be no issue.
Okay. So, the plan is again, you and I stealth, the rest attack with light. Well, what's first? What's second? What happens here?
Well, I need to take a moment to find some. I'm going to look around and see if I can find any pitch.
It takes about an hour. You manage to find essentially a few piles of rather disgusting, sticky goblinoid refuse that you imagine would probably stick and burn pretty well in a pitch type way. Yeah.
So here's how I think this goes.
Yeah.
We go in, find the illithid, and then we pop in, throw the goblin shit in its face.
Or I try to blind it with magic.
Both.
Both. Why not both?
Both. As soon as he's blind, I go in for the kill. And then it's on us to deal with what happens after that.
It's playtime.
It's playtime.
Yeah.
Remember, there are some dwarves being held captive.
Yes.
We could make our way to them and release them, cause further distraction, or to get some allies on the inside.
Possible they could be weary, frightened.
Mind control.
Seems unreliable, yes, mind control.
They're probably ready to fight, like me.
Grog, we understand. You want to bash some
Kill.
things.
Your
Yes.
time to kill is coming. Clarota, is there anything you can do to help us in this endeavor?
Neck.
I can help in trying.
He's a light
Cloud his mind with mine. But you have to swear to protect me from harm.
You have our word.
Yeah,
That we
have
will
all
try.
Vox Machina, let's do this
Let's
shit.
Yes.
I
All right.
turn into an eagle and I'll take the gnomes.
All right. Ready? Scanlan.
Tiberius, Percy, and I are on the
Embarrassing.
carpet, and Tiberius, are you going to help Grog fly across?
Yeah.
They're
Fly.
You feel this strange lifting sensation. For a second, your stomach kind of has butterflies, and you realize that you could just think forward and you drift forward. Think back, you drift back. Think up, you drift up.
Amazing. Don't puke in the helmet, though. That would be gross.
I hop on your back. Let's go, Grog.
Great.
And
So-
I guess the rest of them are on the
Yeah.
rug.
So,
Well, I can't see, so you gotta tell me. I start flying the wrong way.
Back up the other way.
Turn around.
Very good. Okay.
you actually clutch Grog by
It's like
the sides of
riding a
his face
Segway.
and start steering him like a vehicle.
Wherever I move your head, you just tilt that way and fly accordingly.
Staying behind.
Vex, for the time being, because it's just easier to organize for this, is coming on the carpet with you guys and is preparing in case she is needed.
Okay. I want to see how you fly, Grog.
It's really rickety.
Bro, it's one arm in and one forward.
You just think. How
Grog
there
begins
you go.
drifting.
I'm gonna kind of fly in the middle between Kurog and the carpet. That way my pass without a trace encompasses everybody.
Okay.
I turn to Scanlan and say, Scanlan, we are probably going to die today. It has been an honor.
It has been an honor.
You won't
If
die
only
today.
one of us will die.
By the way, Vax,
And it won't be me.
when we get up there,
You guys are all coasting over the chasm now. You're over the top of the large bridge and the 200-foot wide open hole in this tunnel that leads to the lake below. As you glance down, you can see just a little bit of a trickle from the soft red light that was deeper inside. You can see the small streams of lava that are just slowly pooling at the bottom on the outskirts of the lake proper. As you begin to make it to the other side, you can see tiny shapes moving in this very barely lit war camp of Duergar. As you're coasting over, and Clarota is along with you guys with his hood up, he kind of whispers into all your heads, says,
Beware, some of these army scary abominations created below within my city. I know not what to expect from them, so be wary.
As this happens, everyone make a stealth check. Everyone because of the pass without a trace, everyone gets a plus 10 to their stealth check. 18.
18.
15.
22.
27.
Wow.
23.
28.
You guys begin to crest over the very top of the war camp, and looking down, you can see now there are what looks to be the beginnings of tunneling siege engines being constructed. You can see giant wheeled carts with drills at the front, giant like auger bores that are being currently constructed. There is a preparation for some sort of an attack on the city above.
Oh.
As you
They want
guys
to take Craig out.
continue to press ahead, there does not seem to be any reaction to your flying. You guys make it towards the center portion of the city. You can just start beginning to see the opening in the center of this war camp. There is a circle where there are no tents constructed. You can see what looks to be a small wooden platform, and there is a stone building that is of, makeshift functional construction. Not pretty, but functional. Looks like a barracks or some sort of a large bunker right on the northern side of that opening, that center portion of the war camp. That would be what you saw both the general and the mind flayer head of this encampment go into last time you...
The barracks.
Yes.
Tiberius, can you turn me invisible now?
He's got to concentrate on that.
He's sitting on the carpet.
Yeah, but he's keeping
He's thinking
him
about
flying.
when I cast invisibility on you, that's when everything
I
happens.
understand.
I'm so scared right now.
If we go down
Why don't we
really
land on the
fast,
roof?
it's
Why
hard
don't
to
we
do the math.
Why don't we land on the roof and we all lay flat except for the people that are going in. You cast invisibility.
This is the exact
We all still-
conversation
we
they
have-
had when they were about to go kill Osama.
I still have. We're still in like a dark cloud. Let's just land on the roof.
Just
All
land
right.
on the
Let's land on the roof. Let's land on the
We're
roof.
gonna go in. We're gonna hit the roof. You turn me invisible. He turns him invisible. You guys light up the night,
We do that
and we
part?
just do it. We just gotta
We're
go.
lighting up now?
Wait, you light up on the roof?
Once we're
On the
on the
Let's look for access first. Don't light up till we
we're
give the
still gonna
ghost
stay
sign.
stealthy.
Yes, we need to wait before we light up.
If anyone takes notice, then turn on the lights.
Clarota, you
light
have
up till we see
definitely
the green
picked
of
the
it.
right
Green of it.
people to assist
Yes.
you.
We're all shit.
You do not... There's no verbal response, but you do just emotionally sense a slight hint of regret.
All right, let's go land on the roof.
All right, let's
Do
do
it.
it.
As part of the landing, everyone make a secondary stealth check.
Okay.
All right.
20.
You're a terrible
So.
person.
30.
20.
Well, I rolled a 1.
Okay.
29.
23.
21.
28.
We're all
Without
good.
trace is the saving grace. A bit of a harsh landing from your perspective, but thankfully you have 2 small gnomes to break your fall. You drag them a little bit across the stonework on the top. Glancing over the sides, there are a couple of small window openings, one on each side of the
Tiberius, could you do me the favor of making me disappear?
Yes, when I do this, though, it's going to be very cool.
Holy shit, where are my hands?
Right?
That's amazing.
You immediately disappear from view. Your fly spell vanishes, you feel your weight return to you for a second. For a split moment, you're a little sad because you were having fun.
I take Scanlan by the scruff and swing him down
I turn invisible.
in.
Okay. So as you grab him and you're bringing him down, you cast invisibility on yourself. You both vanish now, and all the rest of you are kind of like holding your breath, hoping that now that you don't know what's happening, it's going to go well.
And I'm scaling in after him.
All right. You lower him down. You bring him inside. You step down through the opening into the center of a hallway.
We can't talk to each other, and we can't signal each other, and we don't know where each other is.
Yes, you can.
I hold his hand.
We're holding hands. I'm leaning way down on the side. Come on in.
Go ahead.
My sister's here.
We'll make it work. We'll make it work.
Yay!
We'll bring you up to speed later. You're on the roof of Osama bin Laden's house.
There is one opening into a hallway here.
Okay, so we're gonna go down here.
Down to this hallway.
And
All right, as you guys step out, you can see immediately there are 2 Duergar guards right by a doorway that leads to a central chamber.
so we're gonna go this way.
All right. You
And
guys shift to this side.
Different colored lights.
2 more Duergar guards.
Inching up to this door and just peeking through and seeing what I can see.
This looks to be like a fast grab armory.
I pull Scanlan by the hand and we enter into this room,
This is so romantic.
All right.
quietly walking this way.
As the front door is currently closed, though.
We're gonna keep going this way.
There is 1 Duergar here. There doesn't appear to be a doorway or entrance to the central chamber on this side of the hallway.
Still have the pitch in a bucket, the shit in a bucket in my hand, by
Yep.
the way. I pull a gold coin out of my pocket and throw it to this corner of the
Straight up
hall.
Metal Gear.
All right. Swinging sound. This one nods her head and begins walking over to inspect it. This one stays at its post.
Must have been my imagination.
I pull Scanlan behind me, tiptoe right behind this
Yeah, do it.
asshole, take out my vorpal blade, and reach out and grab him by the hair and stick it in the back of his neck.
That is going to hit, and that is a critical hit. Go ahead and roll damage and sneak attack. This guy's dead.
52.
As you pull the head back, you can hear a slight guttural is about as much noise as can make it out before the blade just right out the front of his throat, blocking any passage of the air.
Twist it.
As you hold it, you twist the blade. He goes limp in your hand, but you catch it and keep holding it there so he doesn't make any noise. You're now clutching a dead Duergar.
Easy, easy.
I'm going to sit him back against the wall and just grab Scanlan and into the room.
Into this room?
Yes.
You do notice, though, is there's a giant kind of war room table at the top of this raised platform. You see at the table one of the illithid mind flayers, the armored general that you saw before, and there are 2 other Duergar currently at the table. They're in the middle of an excused discussion.
We can't communicate.
You guys have got seconds until
Yeah,
that other guard
we
comes
can't
back.
talk. We can't talk.
You hear
So
footsteps behind you.
I put the bucket of shit into Scanlan's hands.
What are you doing with
I'm
your
gonna give him a little nudge, gentle little nudge.
I
says
I
no.
step forward into the room and I hurl it at the fucker's face. The general,
And I'm
the mind
rolling
controller's
behind him
face.
at the same time.
Okay, so you dart up behind. Make a stealth check, both of you,
Oh god.
with advantage.
Oh god, Robert's dead.
Oh yeah. Wait, do we get the plus 10 to stealth?
8 plus
No.
advantage. Oh, thank God.
19.
He
I'm
gets
using
advantage.
Scanlan's advantage, so 16, 29.
Okay. You slink up behind, seemingly unnoticed. There's a slight twitch to the Mind Flayer's head for a second as you go ahead and take a big old
Bucket of shit.
and fling it. You fling it as the invisibility spell wears off of you as part of the attack. You fling the bucket. A spray of thick, gooey goblin fecal matter goes streaking through the air as the illithid turns with its eyes wide to see you suddenly appear, and then suddenly see this entire batch of thick goblin shit just across its face. Suddenly you see its tentacles writhing as it goes, and as it screams, all of you hear in your head a scream.
I'm stabbing!
As
Cast Stone Skin immediately.
all right, as this happens, you start cast Stone Skin, you go in for the blade,
we're in
and
the
you
pot.
hear a counter voice in your mind.
Fuck.
Clarota, go.
I
Roll
cast
your attack.
light on Grog's head.
Your head comes to an
Anything else?
extremely bright glow,
everything.
all of you averting your gaze.
This is stealth, right? Stealth for me?
Yes. No, you are invisible, so...
Okay.
You're a daylight golem.
29! Yes! 29!
That definitely rolls to hit. You had surprise. Go ahead and roll.
It's a critical, right? I'm
It's a
assassinating
critical,
this motherfucker.
technically, yep.
Should we go in?
We don't know anything.
So, roll damage on this.
Roll my damage, roll my damage.
Oh, we can act on that.
And I
Yeah.
Stone Skin, light on its head. It's going into a rage.
Daylight on my shield.
Daylight on your shield.
I'm so happy to be here.
And you have an entrapment arrow now.
Okay, I get ready for that.
Okay, cool.
DM 62 inches.
You take the blade, and as it pierces the back...
Oh, it's a poison one, by the way.
Okay. It pierces the back of its skull. You feel all the muscles in its neck tense in reaction to the blade, but the blade slips past. You can see a gout of purplish black blood begin to spill from its neck as it instinctually reaches up and pulls the blade from the back of its head. The poison does not seem to take effect. Its body resists it. It is still alive, but it looks like it's like clutching the back of its neck as it turns around, looking at you, going. You can see just blood spurting out of its mouth, and its eyes are now just burning with rage. All the rest of these Duergar are now reaching and pulling their weapons out. Everyone roll initiative.
Let's kill some bad guys.
All right, and your other attack? Are you doing your bonus attack? So the first strike, you swing across with the flame tongue dagger. As it backs up, you put another gash across the front of its neck and chest area. It reels back and it's looking at you with angry fury. You feel this coming shake, this horrible force of severe retribution coming to your mind. And as you're bracing for it, you take your other blade. You see its mouth opens up with frustration and anger as its tentacles kind of curl back, ready to just go in for the grab. And you place the blade squarely into that maw. You feel the scraping of its teeth across your knuckles, but it doesn't matter because whatever anger and light was once in its face goes dark and dark. As immediately it crumples to the ground, lifeless. You pull the blade from the maw. Mind Flayer down.
Yeah, Vex.
All right, Vex, you're up.
I'll hold to see what the hell is
Okay,
happening.
all right, so you'll hold on that. This dude's turn, the general. He, unaffected by this it seems, just angrily leaps onto the table, runs across, and jumps down towards you. His physical form seems to enlarge. Like his actual small dwarvish form begins to swell, his muscles tense, and he's about the size of a normal person, if not a little bigger right now. He comes at you with this giant, black, jagged metal warhammer. Comes down to swing at you. As he comes down, you see it burst into flame. There is fire now surrounding the head of this warhammer as it arcs towards you. Take 9 damage from the strike. As it strikes down, it goes for a backswing to attack you a second time. This time, you just dodge completely out of the way. Percy, you're up.
Just in case, I'm gonna push off and wait for Grog. So I'm holding my turn.
Okay, Rog, your turn.
Right, so we're on the roof of the thing, right?
Correct, you are.
I'm in a rage. I take the pot still on my head, and I pick up my axe, and I draw one gigantic smash through the roof of the building.
As you swing the axe down, slam, it hits the wood with the sheer weight of you there, and most of you guys climb to that point. The actual roof breaks open and splits in a small space. You slide down in the process.
I jump onto to Grog's foot.
All right, so Rod, you managed to land on your feet. Pike, you actually plummet off and fall off to the side right there.
Oh no.
You are currently prone.
I'm okay.
Okay, thank God.
All right, Vex and Percy are at the same.
We'll go. We both jump down at the same time.
Both jump down. You just barely land on your feet. You do take fall damage, but you don't fall prone. Percy, you managed to land fine without any damage on your feet.
I'm taking a second, and I see that Vax is getting attacked, and I'm gonna just take a shot. Oh, natural 20!
Against the general or against one of the Duergar?
The
general.
guy on the table attacking me.
Okay.
Yeah.
He gets shot in the back of the shoulder plate. You hear it ricochet, and a little bit of blood begins to streak off the back of his head. He looks over his shoulder with an angry grunt. You can see now this dwarf, who's still swelling in size, kind of looks at you with an angry nostril glare. You have your bow ready?
Yeah, I want to do lightning arrow on the guy attacking my brother.
So the first arrow just streaks off, hits the wall. As he's kind of staring at Percy, he looks towards you, and as he does the second arrow, sticks into the plate, and he kind of looks at it and just snaps it off in the armor. Grog, the light that is beaming from your helmet currently right now, you can see that all the Duergar at the table are like, ah! A bunch of Duergar come running in as well. As they run in, they're having to shield their eyes, but it's actually physically hurting them to be in that room right now. They're like, ah! Tiberius, you're up.
I'm still on the roof, right?
You're still on the roof,
I
yeah.
cast Grand Columns under all three of those dudes and pin them right up against the roof.
All three of the Duergar are crushed
To death?
against the ceiling.
I did 27 damage to each one.
Nice.
To death?
Just splat, splat, splat. They're all slammed into the ceiling. You can see limp dwarf arms and legs now dangling out of these stone pillars that are now permanently embedding them into the ceiling.
This is a crazy room.
And I cast Quicken Spell, and I look at the general, and because of my books I've been tinkering with, I cast Blight.
We'll say for that solid 14 points of damage. Scanlan, you're up.
Okay, I'm gonna cast Dominate Person on the general.
What does that do?
Oh, shit.
No.
I'm going to tell him to stand down and tell all of his allies to stand down.
He turns around, gives you a look, a strange look, and goes,
Men, all of you, drop your weapons. Now, we are surrendering to our new infiltrators.
he throws his warhammer to the ground. The three other Duergar look confused, look at the dead mind flayer, look at their general telling them to surrender, and they all kind of throw their weapons to the ground and stand there kind of with their arms to the side, kind of waiting for what's going to happen next. As you finish that, Clarota slowly
Oh yeah,
drifts
Clarota,
down.
thanks for all the fucking help, dude.
Clarota just kind of looks around, assesses it, and you hear this voice in your mind go,
I had my doubts, but well done.
Small.
Keelan.
I come on down and I say, good work, guys. I cast Grasping Vine, and I just take a vine and I tie his hands behind his back.
As this is happening, you guys feel a familiar tremble
Oh no. Be quiet.
in the ground.
DM is out of his mind.
Everyone make a stealth check.
Damn it. I'm not stealthy
17.
today.
18.
19.
14.
23.
Pretty good overall.
2.
22.
All right. There's the rumble gets louder and louder, and you can see the Duergar kind of looking around nervously. And the rumbling kind of fades for a second. And with the cacophonous cracking sound, the stone floor beneath you splits open. No! Yeah! As a large,
What the fuck?
a large armored, four-legged creature comes bursting out of the ground around you. You can have this horrible screeching growl as this kind of hungry look in its eyes.
Guys, this is so exciting. And Laura has no idea what's going on.
No clue.
It's going to be a bite attack against you, Percy. Rears back, and this giant toothy maw comes clamping down onto your entire torso. You suffer 36 points of piercing damage.
Oh!
Shit.
Pike, you're up.
I'm gonna use Guiding Bolt, and I'm gonna shoot that thing.
You reach back, clutching your holy symbol. After you get back off the ground, release your hand as this suddenly flaring blast of divine energy comes cascading out of the front of your palm, blasting into the side of the face, nearly searing one of the eyes of the creature. It rears back, bringing one leg up instinctually. Slams the ground in the process. How you doing? That's disadvantage to your next attack. It lands, puts its foot back on the ground, and kind of gears its attention towards you.
I'll use Healing Word.
Okay, so
Yeah.
go ahead and roll that for him. Clarota now gets its action. You hear the slight echoing, screeching sound that just manages to skirt the outside of your mental capacity. You're just peripheral to it. Unfortunately, the exterior of the bullet and or its mind shielding is too strong. It seems to have no effect on the creature.
Damn it.
That ends his turn. Top of the round, Vax.
I'll use my bonus action to click my haste boots together.
Okay, then you can definitely do that.
Okay.
Do hit. You can
So I'm
do
gonna try to strike him in his underbelly.
All right, 22 damage. Alrighty. Alright, the general is going to attempt to make its saving throw, and he does.
Give a shit.
Oh, he broke out?
He broke out.
To fight
But
the
he
bullet
fought-
or to
You have no
turn on
idea.
it? Oh, we don't know.
Grog.
Kitty! I would like to go into a frenzied rage and charge at Clifford the big red dog.
You leap off the higher platform, come rushing out with your axe in the air as you come down, using the full weight of your body behind the attack. You come now just slamming your great axe into the side of this armored beast, just over and over again, cleaving this nice little wide section of its armor on the side. You do a significant amount of damage and leave a nice little weak point in its armor. Vex,
I'm gonna cast Hail of Thorns on him.
your bonus action to cast Hail of Thorns, and then you now make an attack with the arrow. Go for it.
Yeah,
All right, so what happens here is you pull an arrow out. As you whisper a couple of words under your breath, you see all these thorny spikes begin to shoot out the shaft of the arrow. You release it, and as it strikes in the front of its face, the arrow actually splinters, sending a bunch of these thorns all over its torso, piercing an inch or two into its armor with each blast of these thorns. It kind of rears back and tries to shake itself off. As it does, you get a little bit of a look as Grog backs away from it, shaking to see the wound he left. You take your secondary arrow, aim for the red soft spot, boom, slips right past the armored plating, doing the extra damage on the interior of its physical self. Percy, you're up.
Okay, is my hand still stuck in its mouth? I would like it to be.
If you'd like to, yeah. You could have left it there.
So, do I have an advantage to hit if my gun is in its mouth?
You are considered grappled if you leave your hand there. You can remain grappled for advantage on the attack roll.
Done.
Okay.
Okay, I spent some grit on this. This is the dead shot, and I also took a negative. I took a -5 to hit for a +10 damage to this shot.
Okay.
And I'm using my fire modifier.
Okay.
Not being an asshole.
Okay.
35 points of fire damage inside of its mouth.
So, your hand inside, you pull back and fire, knowing which barrel's next. You hear this dull sound, and its eyes kind of pulse for a second with intense fury and pain. Smoke just billows out the sides of its mouth and its nostrils, and it begins to kind of shake its head, lifting you about a foot off the ground painfully, but you think it's worth the deal. Well done.
Thank you.
The Duergar, currently seeing the situation and the change of tone, go and grab their weapons.
Change of tone.
This Duergar is going to move up back to you, Scanlan, as it sees that you were the one that took over the general now.
Bring it.
Attack against you, Scanlan. This one is actually also physically growing in size as it comes towards you. 16 points of damage.
Such a bummer.
As the war pick comes slamming into your side. The one that's coming up against you, you see it and just duck out of the way as its war pick slams into the stone wall next to you with a horrible screeching stone sound. Tiberius, you're up.
I'm looking in, I'm like, oh, that's not good. I'm going to cast telekinesis, and I'm going to pry open the metal. I'm not going to target the creature, I'm going to target the armor.
The armor?
And
Interesting thought. Okay. All right. It fails. So here's what happens. For the effect of this, so I'm going to say it suffers about 2d6 points of damage from the tearing.
6 damage.
Okay, so 6 damage. However, you have effectively reduced its armor class by 5.
Yes!
In doing so.
Ooh. I'm gonna run away from the guy behind me, run straight at the general, and just open out my arms in an outstretched big hug, and I'm like, "Come here, big guy! Come here!" And I give him a big hug, and upon touching him, I cast banishment on him and send him to another dimension.
Nice!
All right. The general, as you reach up, he has his war pick ready, pulls back its war pick as the flames burst in, and then blinks out of existence.
Nice move.
One down.
He's gone! Oh, where did he go? I don't know.
Keelan.
So, upon seeing this big thing crash in,
Aggressive.
and I turn into a rhinoceros.
Yes! Okay, you transform into a rhinoceros, now basically facing an armored beast with another armored beast.
Yes.
Kaiju battle.
Yeah. But you slam into it, your horn gores. You can see actually you slam it into the side of the armor wound that Grog left, and then Tiberius pried open. Part of it gets pulled back, and you see a squick splatter of some sort of bloody splash as you're starting to actually pull apart its interior. It's going to jump. It rears back and leaps, landing right on top of Clarota and Scanlan. It sinks its teeth right into you. You take 41 points of piercing damage.
Holy.
No worries, I'm just at negative 36 now.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. So Scanlan's looking rough. Scanlan is now being just thrashed around in the mouth of the creature. Pike, your turn.
Okay, so time for a cure wound.
If you want to cure wounds, you have to touch him.
I'll go. Yeah.
Scanlan's there, currently being flung around. You manage to reach up and grab him and get in a brief tug of war with the bullet creature as you cast Cure Wounds. As a mass Cure Wounds, or just doing Cure Wounds?
I'll just do cure wounds.
Okay.
Okay. So that's.
So at what level are you
Don't
using?
chintz out.
Yeah, I'll do it at my highest level that I can cast, which is.
Let's not cheap out on Scanlan.
5th level would be.
Yeah, 23.
So now you're 23 hit points.
Hey, I feel great, guys.
You're still in its mouth, being shook around.
Oh shit! What is this ride? This is crazy.
Clarota's going to get up.
Come on,
prone.
Clarota, show us what you got.
Taking a cue from the opening you left, Clarota pulls
Come on,
back
son.
its hand. You see a familiar spark of bluish electrical energy into the form of a lightning bolt. As the back of its armor is now seared, and you can see parts of its armored flesh are kind of blackened and charred and slightly crimping. Vax, you're up.
Okay, so I've got enough room to run up to its anus, which I'll do.
Okay, as you rush past, this Duergar that was right by you, that is currently grown to a larger size, gets
Sure.
a free swing at you.
No thing, ain't no thing.
Deals 14 points of damage to you.
Who cares? I'm saving my gnome friend. Okay,
All right.
Here I go. 14 is a 25 to hit his butt.
25 hits.
It's 30.
All right,
To
nice.
the butt.
To the butt.
Specifically to the butt.
All right, as you rush up, you take a moment as it's thrashing about, and you can see what looks anatomy-wise to be probably where it expels whatever it eats.
Little hole.
Yeah,
Yeah, right in
so you
there.
go ahead and just
there.
slash and eviscerate there.
How you like me now? How you like me now?
Even back there, it's heavily armored. It
Yeah.
takes, but you carve through, and you've definitely left a lasting impression
Pucker
on
up,
this
baby.
bullet.
Pucker up.
Hashtag Armor
In the butt.
This is D&D in 2015, people. 2015. So that's the first attack, right? Do I get a second attack?
The general also, by the way, appears as the concentration spell was lost, as you were unconscious.
I must have stopped concentrating for some reason.
However, it is right in front of. It's like, what the? This is now in his face. The general's turn, who now is there from the bullet, sees it, looks over and sees you,
It's right in front of me.
kind of sitting there with your bloody hand. It's flaming, still flaming, swings back and goes for your head.
God.
21 points of damage.
I'm out.
Okay, Percy, being pummeled and pummeled again, loses your gun falls from your hand as you slump to the ground. Your eyes roll back, unconsciousness and darkness
Dropping like flies.
taking you. Grog.
Whoa, me? Then I would like to run up to its right side and flank it.
All right, go ahead. You're making your attacks.
Natural 20.
How do you want to do this, Grog?
Oh, you killed it?
I would like to swing through and catch the corner of its mouth, open its mouth wide, and then I'd like to reach in and with my teeth pull its fucking tongue out of its head and start thrashing it side to side.
All right. So first, you rush up with your axe, using all of the aggression. You take it and swing it, barely leaving you with a shave. You gash the side of its mouth and draw this giant wound open. As it does, you actually snap and cut through the tendons that clench the jaw, causing it to fall open and slack. Scanlan spills out of its mouth, hitting the ground with a dull thud. You drop your axe from one hand, grab the jaw, reach in, bite down on its giant meaty tongue. Using your hand at the back of it, you pull and yank, and you feel all the muscle tearing and tensing before eventually it comes free, and it's now dangling about 25, 30 pounds of bullet tongue meat. With your third attack, how do you finish it?
Yeah, I'm gonna King Kong his jaw. I'm gonna take the broken part at the top of his head, just pull it apart.
Yep. Okay, so you drop your axe entirely, the tongue still dangling from your mouth. You reach and put one foot up into the bottom of the jaw. Using your other hands, you push and push. You hear it crack and pull as it tenses and is trying to push down. It has no tension because the jaw was destroyed. You pull back and you hear a sickening snap as the armor plate buckles underneath where the neck joint would be on such a creature. Eyes kind of roll back for a second, and it begins to slacken. As it does, you reach up with your fist and penetrate the bottom of where its brain would be. With a sickening sound, it goes entirely limp and collapses on the ground.
And that's why you're on the team.
And as it falls, the tongue that's hanging in my mouth, I look to one of the dwarves that's left and I go, Who's next?
And we're gonna end it there for the night. Actually, before we finish, I'd say go ahead and throw a heal up on him.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Damn, guys, well done.